Hello, ARMY! Welcome back to BTS K-pop Vibes, your #1 source for the latest BTS updates, viral moments, and breaking stories straight from Seoul. If you love staying ahead on everything about the boys, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's dive into today's story. What if everything you thought you knew was completely wrong? For weeks, fans around the world have been caught in a storm of speculation surrounding Kim Taehyung and Jungkook. Rumors spread rapidly, and theories became wilder with each passing day. But now, Taehyung is finally breaking his silence, and what he revealed is something no one expected. Was it all just a misunderstanding, or is there a deeper story that fans completely missed? In this video, we're diving into the truth behind the headlines, the hidden details fans overlooked, and the moment that changed everything. Stay with us because this isn't just another rumor. This is the real story. The moment Kim Taehyung finally addressed the situation, the atmosphere shifted immediately. Fans who had been following every update, every post, and every subtle interaction suddenly found themselves questioning everything they thought they understood. The speculation that once felt convincing began to unravel piece by piece. For weeks, online discussions had been dominated by theories, some harmless, others wildly exaggerated. Every glance, every silence, and every public appearance involving Jungkook was analyzed in extreme detail. Social media turned into a battlefield of opinions, where assumptions quickly transformed into facts in the eyes of many. But what most people didn't realize was how far those interpretations had drifted from reality. Taehyung's response wasn't loud or dramatic. It didn't arrive with a grand announcement or a carefully staged reveal. Instead, it carried a calm honesty that immediately stood out. And that's exactly why it hit so hard. He didn't try to fuel the narrative, nor did he aggressively shut it down. He simply told his side of the story. Clear, grounded, and real. According to Taehyung, much of the speculation came from moments taken out of context. Small interactions had been magnified, while the bigger picture was ignored. He explained how easy it is for people to connect dots that were never meant to be connected in the first place. What fans interpreted as tension or hidden meaning was in reality just normal, everyday moments, nothing more. What made this revelation even more powerful was the tone he used. There was no frustration, no anger, just a quiet understanding of how things had escalated. It showed a level of maturity that resonated deeply with fans, who were willing to listen. Instead of blaming anyone, he acknowledged how quickly narratives can grow in a hyper-connected world. Meanwhile, Jungkook's silence throughout the situation suddenly made more sense. Rather than adding more noise to an already chaotic conversation, he chose to stay out of it. And in hindsight, that silence spoke volumes. It reflected trust that the truth didn't need constant defense, and that eventually things would settle. As Taehyung continued, he subtly reminded fans of something important. Not everything seen online reflects the full story. There are layers, emotions, and realities that exist beyond what is captured in clips or posts. And when those layers are ignored, misunderstandings become inevitable. This moment became a turning point. Fans who once were divided started coming together, re-evaluating their perspectives. Discussions shifted from speculation to reflection. People began asking themselves how things escalated so quickly and whether they had unknowingly contributed to the confusion. What stood out the most wasn't just the clarification itself, but the message behind it. Taehyung wasn't simply addressing a rumor, he was highlighting a bigger issue about how easily narratives can spiral out of control. In a world where information spreads instantly, the line between truth and assumption can blur faster than anyone expects. And just like that, what once felt like a massive controversy began to lose its weight. The mystery that had captured so much attention didn't explode into something bigger. Instead, it quietly resolved, leaving behind an important lesson for everyone watching. Because in the end, this wasn't just about Taehyung or Jungkook. It was about perception, communication, and the power of assumptions. And sometimes the truth isn't shocking or dramatic. Sometimes the truth is simply real. As the situation continued settling down, a deeper realization slowly began to emerge within the fandom. What once felt urgent and intense gradually transformed into something more reflective. Fans started revisiting the original clips, posts, and moments that had sparked the entire wave of speculation. But this time, they watched with a different perspective, one shaped by what Kim Taehyung had calmly explained. And suddenly, things didn't look the same anymore. Moments that were once labeled as suspicious now appeared ordinary. Interactions that had once been overanalyzed felt natural, even familiar. It became clear how easily emotion and assumption filled the gaps where context was missing. The shift didn't happen instantly for everyone, but it was undeniable. More and more fans began to understand how the narrative had spiraled. At the center of everything was the dynamic between Taehyung and Jungkook, a relationship built on years of shared experiences, trust, and unspoken understanding. What the speculation failed to capture was the depth of that bond. Instead, everything had been reduced to isolated moments, stripped of history and meaning. And that's where the biggest misunderstanding had rooted. In reality, long-term friendships, especially those formed under intense public attention, don't always appear perfect from the outside. There are quiet moments, personal space, natural changes over time. But none of that signals conflict. It simply reflects growth. Taehyung's words subtly pointed to this reality, reminding fans that not every shift needs a dramatic explanation. As discussions continued, a new conversation started forming, one that went beyond this single situation. Fans began talking about responsibility, about how easy it is to share, comment, and speculate without fully understanding the impact. Because while theories might feel harmless in the moment, they can quickly build into something far bigger than intended. What made this moment stand out was that it didn't end with a shocking twist or dramatic reveal. Instead, it faded into clarity. The real story wasn't explosive, it was grounded, it was honest, and in many ways, that made it even more powerful. Taehyung's approach also set a tone for how situations like this could be handled in the future. No escalation, no blame, just calm clarification. It showed that not every rumor needs to be fought aggressively. Sometimes the truth speaks best when delivered with simplicity and confidence. Meanwhile, Jungkook's continued quiet presence added another layer to the narrative. Without saying a word, he remained consistent, focused, steady, and unchanged. And that consistency became its own form of reassurance. It reminded fans that not everything needs a response to be understood. By this point, the energy within the fandom had noticeably shifted. Where there had once been tension, there was now curiosity mixed with self-awareness. People weren't just asking what happened anymore, they were asking how did we interpret it this way? And that question mattered because it marked growth, not just as fans, but as a community navigating a fast-moving digital world, a world where moments are clipped, shared, and reshaped within seconds, a world where narratives can form before the full story has a chance to exist. In the end, this chapter didn't end with drama. It closed with understanding, and maybe that was the part no one expected. In the days that followed, something even more interesting began to happen. The noise didn't just fade, it transformed. What once dominated timelines as speculation slowly gave way to more thoughtful conversations. Fans were no longer rushing toward conclusions. Instead, they were stepping back, choosing to observe rather than react. This shift didn't happen by accident. It was the direct result of how Kim Taehyung chose to handle the situation. His calm and measured response created space. Space for people to rethink, space to breathe, space to see things from a wider perspective. And in that space, clarity naturally followed. One of the biggest realizations was how much of the narrative had been built on timing. Clips taken from different days, different moods, and entirely different contexts had been stitched together into a single storyline. Viewed separately, they were harmless, but combined together, they created a picture that felt convincing, even if it wasn't accurate. This is where the role of digital culture became impossible to ignore. In today's world, a single moment involving Jungkook can be captured, edited, and shared across millions of screens within minutes. And once it spreads, it takes on a life of its own. People add captions, interpretations, and emotions. Something simple becomes layered, and sometimes misleading. What fans slowly began to understand is that the speed of information often moves faster than the truth. Yet, despite all of that, what remained constant was the authenticity of Taehyung and Jungkook themselves. That consistency became an anchor within an otherwise chaotic moment. No sudden behavior shifts, no cryptic responses, just the same presence they had always shown. And for many fans, that realization felt grounding. It also sparked a deeper appreciation for the unseen side of things, the moments that never get recorded, the conversations that happen away from cameras, the realities that exist beyond public view. Because for every clip that goes viral, there are countless others that never will. And those unseen moments often tell a very different story. As more fans reflected, a sense of accountability quietly emerged, not in a heavy or negative way, but in a thoughtful one. People began acknowledging how easy it is to get caught in the momentum of a trending topic, how quickly curiosity can turn into assumption, and assumption into belief. With that awareness came change. Comment sections that were once filled with strong opinions began softening. Instead of definitive statements, there were more questions, more openness, more willingness to consider different perspectives. It wasn't about being right anymore. It was about understanding. Taehyung, in his own understated way, had shifted the entire tone of the conversation. But perhaps the most lasting impact wasn't the clarification itself, it was the lesson that remained. A reminder that not everything needs to be decoded. Sometimes what we see is exactly what it is. No hidden meaning, no deeper agenda. And more importantly, a reminder that people, no matter how public their lives may seem, still deserve space to exist without constant interpretation. As the situation finally settled into the background, it left behind a quieter and more grounded fandom, one that had experienced the full cycle of curiosity, speculation, realization, and ultimately understanding. Because in the end, the real story was never about a hidden conflict or dramatic reveal. It was about perspective. And once that perspective changed, everything else followed. And just when it seemed like everything had completely settled, a quieter but much deeper shift began forming beneath the surface. It wasn't loud, it wasn't trending, and it didn't dominate headlines. But for those who were paying attention, it mattered more than anything that came before. Fans began reconnecting with what brought them here in the first place. Beyond edits, theories, and endless analysis, there had always been something simple at the core. The music, the artistry, the connection built over years between Kim Taehyung, Jungkook, and the global ARMY community. And rediscovering that made the entire situation feel smaller, almost distant. What once felt overwhelming now felt like a passing moment. That didn't mean the experience was meaningless, far from it. In fact, it left a lasting impression. It reminded fans that being part of a global community also comes with influence. Every comment, every share, every reaction contributes to a larger picture. And when multiplied by millions, even the smallest assumption can grow into something powerful. But now that power was being understood differently. Instead of fueling uncertainty, many fans began using their voices to bring balance, to slow things down, to question narratives instead of immediately accepting them. It wasn't about being right anymore. It was about intention, about choosing when to speak and how. At the same time, there was renewed appreciation for authenticity. Taehyung's approach, calm, honest, and grounded, lingered in people's minds. It quietly demonstrated that strength doesn't always come from being the loudest voice. Sometimes strength comes from remaining steady while everything else moves around you. Meanwhile, Jungkook's presence remained unchanged, almost like an anchor that never shifted despite the waves. There was something reassuring about that consistency. It reminded fans that not everything needs to be explained in detail to be understood. Some things simply are, and that is enough. As time moved forward, the conversation gradually became more reflective than reactive. People weren't just asking what happened, they were asking why it happened and how easily it could happen again. That awareness created quiet growth within the community, and with growth came clarity. The story that once seemed full of unanswered questions no longer required dramatic conclusions, because the real resolution had already happened in the way people began seeing things differently, in the way assumptions were replaced with understanding, in the way noise gave way to perspective, and perhaps most importantly, in the way fans learned to separate what is real from what is projected. In the end, this wasn't just another chapter in the fast-moving world of online discussions. It became a subtle turning point, a moment that didn't rely on intensity, but on awareness. Because sometimes the most powerful changes don't happen in the spotlight, they happen quietly, in the way people choose to think, react, and understand moving forward. And long after the rumors faded, that quiet change was what truly remained.